to zone 2. And 2-1 was my favorite level for a while until I finished 2-2. So yeah, but that took me about like 2 hours, 3 hours maybe? No, 2 hours I think. So yeah, first try found boss room. That's on zone 2, it's not exceptional, but still that was a bit lucky. And then just, you know, armored skeletons everywhere, a nightmare. The nightmare is particularly annoying because on one hand it's not as annoying as it is in normal ones, because you can just remember when the enemies are, and you have all your time to just predict how they're gonna move, etc. But at the same time, it still blocks them, so you have to remember where they are, and yeah, it's annoying. And they block the walls, so you don't know where the stone walls are, where the gold walls are. You don't know if there's a chest there. Yeah, sometimes it's really annoying. And in particular, I don't know what enemy types are hiding behind it. So yeah, just try for a while to avoid dying, and then, you know, you just get to that point and you think, okay, I killed the boss. Now I have a chest there, stone wall, stone wall, stone wall, stone wall, stone wall, gold, gold, still enemies all the way in the middle. That's not gonna work. I'm not gonna exceed that. No. Yeah. So even though I killed the mini boss, I have to go back and think of something else. So I kill him here, but it's the same problem, you know. There's too much shit everywhere. So yeah, I try to get a bit above. Maybe there's more room, but there's still, you know, the skeleton and skeleton match behind him. Yeah. And then I had the idea of using the throw, and that was great. I loved that. And you can see I, you know, kept recording for a few seconds after that, because I was like, yeah, that works. Victory. And yeah, after that I tried to pick up the daggers and it didn't work, and I was like, I want to use the throw, but yeah, that was particularly disappointing, because I thought, yeah, if I can just get them in a diagonal way, I can move down, I can serpentine between the walls on the gold, and I can pick up both daggers. But what happens is, this one picks up the first dagger, then he picks up the second dagger. This one still doesn't have a dagger, and the dagger is there. And this one can't take the dagger without this one dying on gold. So that doesn't work. Yeah. So do something else. So what I did is I left that dot wall, so that for the tool later, the two daggers will be on equal ground, so they'd both be here. And then I can pick them up much easier. So yeah, I had to go back all the way just to not dig that one, that one. And then yeah, I tried to throw a bit earlier, but yeah, you can see there's gold everywhere. That, yeah, just didn't work. So yeah, I had to take a bit more time, and there we go. Just 2 little move buffers there, just so the skeleton stone there move a bit more. That way they're here or not here, because otherwise they'd be blocking there'd be a wall of stone wall, dodge, gold, gold, stone wall, and you can't go through that. Sorry. And yeah, so that works. There's still a skeleton mage and a skeleton, but it's, yeah, you can avoid them. That's not too bad. Except if you go that way. Oh yeah, I tried to attack buffer on the mushroom without a dagger, and then I facepalmed. That was fun. And yeah, you can see the skeleton was going through the gap, so that didn't work either. So that's why that's not the final solution. So yeah, let's go back. You can see here, there's still a skeleton there, and if I dig buffer here, like I can't dig buffer up there, because the skeleton's there, and if this one tries to attack it, it's gonna die because he doesn't have a dagger. I learned that with the mushroom. But then if I only dig buffer down, well, I can dig buffer right because there's gold there. but anyways, I can, yeah, anyways, that doesn't work. Yeah, and if I just dig buffer down, they're gonna be in a diagonal, and I'm not gonna be able to pass the gold on the stone there. So yeah, and if I dig buffer up, it's gonna get killed by the skeleton, so that was iffy. And then I had the idea of using a wind mage strat in the same level I used the throw strat, and I was really happy at that idea, and it worked perfectly. Look at that, just look at that. The wind mage pulls me, I go back on equal level by digging the wall, and I pick up the daggers, and I exit the level, and it's beautiful. And yeah, and then I just die because I miscalculated, and yeah, that's how it works. Anyways, there you go, 2-2. 2-1, sorry. Alright, moving fast. Okay, that's, yeah, 2-2 is the big one. It's not the big one, but it's a big one. It's the first very hard level, so, you know, first thing you try, you know, you just die, and then you discover a room like this. So, stone walls, stone wall, stone wall, stone wall. I know the exit is there because it's stone 2, so it's there. And yeah, stone walls, chests, everywhere, just stuff. And you find that, and you're like, okay, how do I go through there? And then you go through the path just below that, and you find an armadillo right next to a stone wall, so I can't go through there either. And then you go, okay, what if I dig under it? And then stone walls. And then you, okay, fine, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go around the walls, because sometimes you just can't. So yeah, just go around, and there's skeletons there, and I kill them, and yeah. I wanted to go through the walls, but luckily sometimes I couldn't, I didn't hit capture in time, so I recorded the death screen itself, because I didn't want to go through all the replay again, just to record it. So you can see here, 0 seconds, that's because I left the timer value in here at 0 while I was working on it. So that's what you see here, that's the end time isn't the time on the timer when the run ends, it's actually the time that's stored in the replay file. Fun fact. So yeah, I tried, and there's a yellow skeleton, and there's a barrel on bounce traps, and the mushroom, and there's a bomb trap right there. You can't really see it's a bomb trap there, but yeah. And the yellow skeleton, yeah, it's just a mess, and I tried to do fancy stuff, and it didn't really work, and then I tried to do fancy stuff, and it worked. And I was like, yeah, I like that one. I really like it. Let's go in slow-mo. I still have to really think about it to realize how it works. I bump back the skeleton while moving forward and offsetting the two codas, and aggroing the armadillo. Bump the barrel to the left and the armadillo. Decapitate the skeleton, the armadillo bounces back, and I dodge it, and then I go around. I love that sequence. That's one of my favorite sequences in the TAS. And it's, you know, it's a bit sad because it's one of the things where you see it in the TAS and you go, wow, that was fast, how did you do that? And you don't really, you know, unless you're really obsessed with it and you just rewatch it and put it in slow-mo and stuff, you don't really realize how precise it is. Because that's the only sequence of movements that works in that situation. Like, you can't go through there otherwise. maybe you can, but you know what I mean. Like, it's, yeah. And then, yeah. And then, you know, you just adapt to that situation. You know, first time you die because you didn't really plan out that far, but then you know, you just say, okay, I'm gonna kill the mushroom, I'm gonna go through there, and then you discover that, and you're like, okay, so let's count. So decapitated yellow skeleton, so that's fine. Yellow skeleton, white skeleton, armadillo, red dragon, wind mage still behind me, owl, which are especially annoying with Codad, giant golem, Here's gold, here's a hidden room, there's stone walls all over there, there's stone walls there, stone walls there, there's gold. Okay, and you see that and you go, right. Yeah. So that took me a while. So the next like minute or so is gonna be just clips of me dying again and again because I can't figure out like, and there's the indestructible wall right there, like there's no space. I can't fight in there. There's a win mage coming right behind, there's still the dragon with full health that yeah. I can't kill that. And then I did. But that's later, that's after all the death. There's a lot of death in that level. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, I just die, and then I die in another way, and then yeah, I figured that I could actually slow down the replay to see better, and then I figured that you can actually do that in VLC, so I used VLC's way. And yeah, that's fun, because if you dig down, you have this armadillo that gets back to you. That was fun. So yeah, here's the fun stuff. Here's a fun fact. I tried to use the secret shop there, right there, to dodge it. And here's something you might not have noticed. Look at that Codad. What the fuck are you doing? That was gold, and he didn't die. That's cool. That was awesome, and I wanted to use that, and it didn't work. And I was so disappointed. Because there's a bomb trap there too. So I could kill the dragon faster with a bomb trap, and I could dodge the gold by going super fast, and yeah, I tried, and you're gonna be seeing like 1 minute of me trying, and I figured, yeah, that's fun, because since it's a high-speed glitch, because in Necrodancer not everything is bound to the bit, there's things that are bound to real time, where they shouldn't be, because it's a game. The entire point of the game is that it's based on the bit, so yeah. But you have things like you can, with fast characters, you can attack enemies while they're falling through trapdoors, or just before they jump on spike traps, and it can do weird stuff, because if you replay the replay later, and the timing is just a tiny bit different because the game lags more, or if there's anything, the timing is going to be different, and the result is going to be different, even though it's supposed to be a deterministic game. So yeah, there's some weird stuff like that, and if you slow down the replay, which is what I did there to see the thing better, the Codad actually dies on the code, because he picks it up before moving, where if it's going normal speed, yeah, he just dodges it magically. Yeah, he's just that good. She, sorry. So yeah, I tried doing that, like dodging it, and then yeah, I tried. Let's go to the previous clip. Yeah, I tried dodging it through there, and that kind of worked, but I used the bomb trap, so I couldn't use it on the dragon, and it was all the way over there, and there was a mole there, so that didn't really work. So I tried to kill the mole first, in here, there we go, but then I tried to get in there, and that didn't work. Yeah, as I said, there's a lot of death in here. I'm sorry about the accidental full screens there. Yeah. I'm not realizing that I could have made the video full screen from the start actually, because I don't really use the other windows, but oh well. Yeah, and there's a mole coming from behind, and there's a dragon fire breathing, and there's, yeah. That was just a messy level. And I really tried to make it work. I tried to make that secret shop plus bomb trap work, because I really wanted to dodge gold in the TAS. That was something yeah. But yeah, it didn't work. I really tried hard. There's a lot of clips of that. That's why this level took me so long to complete, because I refused to believe that it was impossible. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's impossible. If someone can come up with a way for that to work, I'd love to see it. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much when I gave up and I decided, okay, I'm just gonna try to kill it normally and see what happens. And yeah, that worked pretty well, and then that's when I had the idea to kill the golem with the dragon, actually, because I didn't even think about that as a possibility. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the level. After that, it's pretty straightforward. I think I die a couple more times still. Yeah. Yeah, I still do some weird stuff. But yeah, that's just some adjustments, and I finish it with a bomb, and yeah, everything's beautiful. And then there's this asshole. Like, seriously, I just finished a super cool fight. Like, I fought a dragon and a big golem and a mole and a wind mage and everything on that tiny room with stone walls everywhere and gold, and it was so cool. And then there's that mushroom that I can't kill fast. Like, I tried to do a throw strat, but it didn't work up there. And so I just killed him the normal way, and it's boring and slow, and it's my least favorite part of the run because it's so boring and slow, and just after a huge fight. And anyways, yeah, yeah, fuck that mushroom. So yeah, 2-3, sorry, 2-3. Let's see, that was a relatively fast level to complete. Yeah, yeah. Discovery phase, you just die on stone walls constantly. So yeah, that was fun to see, you know, the armored black skeleton first me, you know, so that's always good to see. And I tried to fight in that room, and that was, like, I thought if I can make that work, that's gonna be cool. And I didn't, because look at that shit. I'm not even sure how I thought that would be possible. Yeah, I tried to go that way, but yeah, just there's like 4 armored skeletons in there, golem, the banshee, bat, and yeah, that's actually no, that, wait, maybe that was in the previous one. I think no, but at some point I tried to block that entrance with the bat, manipulate it so that those skeletons couldn't get in here, and there's only one problem with that, is that bats have a terrible priority. So there's a thing in the Necrodancer project XML in the data folder, where there's a lot of characteristics of the enemies that are defined there, and you can use that for modding, for changing some properties of the enemies. And one of them is the priority. For most enemies, it's just calculated through, I don't remember the order exactly, but it's like there's a number for if it's a mini boss or a massive enemy like the golems or other massive enemies, or if it's a normal enemy, and then there's a number for their health and their damage, maybe not in that order, and then the number of bits between each move. And so basically more dangerous enemies move first. That's the basic idea. And bats have a terrible priority because they're really not that dangerous, they're just annoying. And so even if I blocked it, the skeleton would try to move towards it, and every bit, and it would stay there. And on the very next move the bat makes, the skeleton just gonna move there, and the bat is gonna move over somewhere else, because if it tries to move in that direction, it's just gonna choose another one that's not blocked, so I can't really block anything. So yeah, I was a bit sad about that. I tried to do it again on 3.1, and we'll see about that later. But yeah, that was a cool idea, and yeah, it just doesn't work. If I had multiple bats, maybe I could block them a bit longer, but yeah, if I had multiple bats, I couldn't manipulate them anyway, so who cares? Sorry. So yeah, I had the idea of putting them to the side, so that they cannot move out of that room, and I'm free to exit later. So that worked pretty well. You can see I just decapitate the 2 yellow skeletons, and they don't really bother me, and then that skeleton just gets left behind later, because right now I'm still dying. yeah, keep in mind, every time I made changes, that was just like, I'm watching this video and I'm like, okay, how do I follow up this? How do I survive and kill the enemies? And well, in this case it's pretty easy because yeah, she has 1 HP, and yeah. But yeah, you have to think about that and keep track of the movement of the enemies in your head, keep track of where the codas are in your head, and keep track of everything and plan out a few beats ahead, and then save the replay, play it again, see if your changes first of all correspond to what you thought you did, because sometimes you just miscount an enemy's movements, or you just you assume it's gonna grow on one coda but it grows on the other, and it's not easy to predict, especially in multiplayer. So yeah, every clip, I had to plan out a few moves in my head completely and then see if it works. So yeah, yeah. And yeah, then I just kind of exit, and there's a bat that's right there, so I just manipulate it, I put it in the corner there. And yeah, I found out that actually, oops, that must have been that one. Yeah, I found out that there's a lot of enemies still, so I was really right to pull them out, because there's still a lot of enemies. And yeah, it's still a mess. And luckily, I kinda did a 1-3 in there. I just scoot through, like, dodge everything. And then I still had a bit free to prep the throw. So that's good. Except I didn't do it there because I think I discovered that a bit later. I think I was in zone 3 when I discovered that you could, prep the throw a bit before you went in the exit room. So yeah, that's 2-3. And on to 4, which is Coral Reef, which gave me a lot of pain because you'd think it's completely deterministic. Like, well, there's a random aspect of which instruments are gonna go first, but you'd think that's tied to the seed, or tied to how you move, or tied to something that's deterministic. But it's not. I found out there's other factors in play, and I don't know what they are. And sometimes it desyncs because you prepped the replay for a certain pattern, and they just move in another pattern. And just why? I don't know. I have no idea. And yeah, there's some cool stuff you can do because you have 2 codas, so you can attack 2 at the same time, but as you can see, some, I think all except the drums, spawn one on each coda. So I wanted originally, if they both spawn on the same coda, they could be one here, one here. I could have one coda here, and they could both attack and kill them both at the same time. But yeah, it didn't really work, especially for the diagonal ones. It worked for the drums, which I killed both in that way. Except not there, because that was at another point, but yeah, same idea. Yeah. Yeah, and then I just get smacked by Coral Reef, because I forgot he was there. Yeah, I tried a lot of things, because there's a lot of... usually it's pretty hard to manipulate the positions of both codas, because you have to use walls or enemies, or you have to use something to move them around. But in Coral Reef, there's water everywhere, and when one coda jumps on water, the next move can be anything, and it's gonna stay in place. So it's actually really easy to reposition 2 codas to be the way you want, exactly. Because you just have to make one move in water and then the other offset by the direction you want. So that makes things a lot easier in one way, but it also makes things... it's not always easy to get exactly what you want. And yeah, that's one other thing I was talking about. Like, if you watch here, okay, they spawn around the coda on the right. Wait, maybe that's the wrong clip too. Yeah, no, they both spawned on the Codad right that time. The onset spawn around it. Yeah, and I tried stuff and I just died. There's still lots of death. And yeah, as you can see, again, it spawned around the Codad on the right. And yeah, damage just waited a lot. Oops, sorry. And here, it spawns around the Codad on the left. Why? Is it because she's closer? I don't think so. I don't think she was closer to anything than before. And the tuba also doesn't teleport there. I'm not sure why. And you notice just sometimes there's stuff like that happens, and I don't know why. Yeah, again, something just I don't know. They just decided to go there. That was consistent, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how Coral Reef Agro works. Still consistent. And yeah, again with the teleports. I think they just missed the... Like, I think I put positive coordinates instead of negative or something dumb like that. Just, you know. Sorry. And yeah, that's just, you know, small improvements every time, you know. Seeing how enemies react, seeing how I can go around them, attack them, try to do the fight in the most efficient way. That was pretty hard actually, because again, same problem as Konga. I had to exit the level. So I had to be in a configuration that allowed me to exit at the end. And keeping in mind that I also had to attack Coral Reef. And I didn't want to modify the teleport location I gave him just because it was easier for me. I didn't want to manipulate teleports so that they'd be as easy as possible for me. Because I felt that was a bit shitty, even though, you know, TAS are supposed to manipulate energy, like, I felt a bit bad about that because it's not really manipulating if you're just setting the coordinates, so, yeah. That's how I did it. And yeah, it just ends up working, and I started recording a bit late for that one, and I didn't re-record because it was over, so who cares.